Hello everybody, this video is for guys who are willing to apply for PhD positions. Because of that, I invited one of my best friends, my tutor for a master thesis, to explain you about the general procedure of application for PhD programs. So because of that, this conversation will be in English completely. Thanks for watching us. Let's go. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you for inviting me.
Welcome. So, first of all, let's start. Can you explain briefly what is your position as PhD student? You are a normal PhD student, or for example, you are applying for a project or something?
No, I'm a normal PhD student, so I enroll normally for a 3-year program. Though I'm enrolled without a scholarship, so I'm enrolled just as a PhD student, and separately I have a fellow research grant, yes. So that is the source from which I get all the money.
That's great. Later, maybe I can ask you in detail. So first of all, I would like to ask you about the generality of PhD positions. How we can find the positions of PhD in different countries? Do we have a general reference about it?
Honestly, I do not know if there is some general reference like connecting all the universities, because normally universities are publishing separately. Like each university has a dedicated page to PhD. Usually each department has this kind of page where you can find all the information about all the open positions. Because there are usually 2 types of positions. The first one is open one, when you can apply with the topic that is interesting personally for you. Maybe you already did research, or you do a master's or something else, so you simply describe your idea. And the second option is when you have already some topics which are predefined by professors of university. So the topics, those ones usually always have a scholarship. Because those one are really searching for a specific person for a specific position, but there, of course, it's very low probability that he will be already expert in the field that they're searching. But it's normal because, of course, you can simply say, okay, I have these experiences, so I am sure that I will be able to also cope with this research simply because I have enough experience to study well this topic.
So, in general, they can start by searching the general website of each university, then departments of school to find this kind of positions. Yeah. They can be open positions or specified positions. Exactly. Nice. One website actually that I heard about to find different positions was PhDpositions.com, if I'm not mistaken.
So it collects all the universities around the world.
I just heard that it's a general website that you can see in which universities they have offered their positions. But I will check and I will write it in the description below.
Yeah, for sure they exist. It's just that I knew that I wanted to be here, like I didn't even check any other universities. I was applied directly to Polytechnical. But I think there should exist.
Yeah. Let's see. Then I would like to ask about the general procedure of application when the deadline is open, how we should start the registration, which documents should be provided, and how is the general procedure of admission and application and then admission for PhD programs.
Usually you have to start in advance. Like I think the application opened more or less half a year before the start of the program. So if you want to start, let's say in October, November, which is normal start in Italy, you should apply in spring. And there is quite classical set of documents that you have to provide. Of course, it's your CV, and it should be academic CV. Like you have to describe in details what you were doing, which universities you attended before, which papers you published. Then you also have to attach some attachments, and usually they ask for papers or portfolio. It depends on the position. Like for architects, of course, it's normal to have portfolio. Or whatever you think is relevant. Like if you have done something that you think will help you for the application, you can attach it there. Then you also, and I think that is one of the most important parts, is to attach your program, like what you want to do. So here it's like a research proposal, and then it depends if you apply for the topic which already predefined by university. You have to do a research, you have to analyze that topic, and also think how exactly can you contribute for that, because usually it's not like completely closed topic. Usually you can suggest some small changes or say what inside your expertise, how in your expertise you can contribute to this topic. So you do research, you make a detailed plan, usually it's few pages, but very intense few pages, like saying why this topic, why it's actual, and usually that is super important because university should see that your research has potential. Like you cannot choose a topic which then nobody will care about. You have to describe more or less your schedule, like what exactly you want to do, when do you want to do these things, so how long it should take, if you need something extra, some extra equipment or something else. So all these kind of questions in a few pages, just to show what can be researched. And I think that is one of the most important, because then the people who will be selected, the students, for them it will be crucial to know what exactly this person can want to do. Yes, and if he has a clear idea about what he wants to do.
Okay.
And I think the last document is motivation. I'm not forgetting anything, but I can also check later if you want.
I just wanted to know the general document. So, according
the last one. The last one is motivation. Like it's classical motivational letter, like why you want to apply for this position, for this university, and why you are the best for this position. That is quite classical motivation letter.
Okay. So in general, it is something like application for even some other programs like master programs. It is different that we have to have the proposal for the topic that we are willing to continue, or even for the topic that the university has already defined.
Exactly.
And in this proposal, we have to explain more or less every detail very, very briefly that we want to do. But innovation we want to add to this topic.
Yeah. Usually, at least in Polytechnical, when I was applying, on the web page of the PhD, they give you already the templates exactly for almost for everything, even for CV, I think. It's because they want to know some specific questions, so you have simply to fill in things that they give you. So even in proposal, there will be some short proposal with indicate how many words you're going to write, then a long proposal also with some more description about what you're going to do. So it's you should check and see what exactly they want, because it can also differ from different universities.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and also about how to apply. The general way is simply through online services, like you follow the procedure on the website, which is all set there, like you simply have to fill everything and that's it. It's nothing difficult. There is also some extraordinary calls. For example, I was applying an extraordinary call, so it was just a couple of months before the start. I had to apply in September, and then in November I was starting to study. Those calls are a bit more tricky because there are really few positions usually. So there they keep the positions that were not taken during the normal call. Usually there are specific topics, so the topics for which they can find candidates during the main call, they will be covered in the small calls. But less people know about them, so I think it's not like the competition much bigger. Though there is a different procedure because you have to prepare the same documents, but you send them by email. I think by email, simply.
Okay.
So it's basically the same, just...
What about contacting to the professor directly?
If you know who is the professor, it's always good to contact and to know what exactly he expects. Like, especially if it's an open position, if you know who's the professor which will be supporting this position, it's better to contact or at least to check what he's doing, like to check his CV, try to find any information on the internet, so like to know what he's expecting to have. That is better, but it's not like always possible, because it's not always that you can see who is the professor for some specific course. So
in any case, that we can find a professor and we can make in contact with him or her, and if we get any admission, any acceptance from their side, then will they refer us again to the university, to the admission office, to continue the normal procedure of application?
Honestly, I'm not 100% sure. The professors then take part in the evaluation of the candidates. Like if the person goes for a specific professor, of course, he will say if it's okay or not. So from this point of view, it's in any case, it's useful. Though I'm not sure if any professor can help during the procedure.
Okay. Nice. Then the general. So we talked about the documents, and then this is very, very important, and I'm sure that most of guys want to know about this. Different types of financial aids, grants, or scholarships, of funds that we have for PhD programs. How they are, from general one and the most probable one to the at least probable one. If you can explain very, very briefly.
I would say the simplest one, well, not the simplest to get, but the simplest from the point of view of organization, that you just apply for everything once and then you already have your support, is the normal scholarship from the university. Because in this case you apply once, if you are admitted, you automatically have money, and in this case you do not have to worry about anything else. Though there are also positions without scholarship, and I think they are almost half, at least in Italy, so it's quite a lot. And in this case, the best way is to have also research fellowship, like the one I have, though you have to apply for that separately. So for example, first I applied for PhD without scholarship, which was, and I got approval that I started already in October, and then I had to apply for the fellowship only, I think, in January. So for a few months I was not sure if I will get it, and also if I will have money. Like that's a bit tricky because it's, let's say, a bit nervous, though of course it's better than nothing.
First like, get admission, but
it depends, because some people do instead. Some people can instead start with a research fellowship, and then they can also apply for PhD, already having research fellowship. The only thing that if you do this option, the second one, you cannot apply for position of PhD with scholarship. So you cannot get at the same time 2 scholarships.
Okay.
So, but it's possible, like if you apply for the one without scholarship, which is usually also, let's say, less requested, then of course it's a very good option.
Okay, nice. So in general, first we can get a scholarship. We can apply as a PhD student to the university and get a scholarship from the university.
Yeah.
If our documents are not, how can I say, valuable enough to get a scholarship, they can get a PhD position without a scholarship. Then we can apply for fellowships. What are fellowships? They are the projects which have financial aids, or it's only money?
No, it's kind of a bit different thing. Like for example, my research fellowship is even a little bit different topic from my PhD.
So there are even topics that we have to work on.
Exactly, it's the topics that you have to work on. So there you do almost the same as for PhD, just that it's a bit different procedure to apply. You also prepare a research proposal, so you also prepare your CV. So as far as I remember, the documents are the same. The only thing that for the research position there is no open role, like you cannot propose your topic, so you have to find the one that already exists, and in this case it's, you should really know what the university wants from this position, so you have to you should understand what exactly you have to do there on that position. And also, for example, my position, it's renewable every year, like each year I have to write a separate report, which is separate from the PhD about what I did, and then it's renewed. But it depends. there are different types. I think there are also some short time research fellowships, like the projects. And in this case, you can usually get it if you have some funds, or if you have some funds, or if the professor with whom you work has some funds. But though that kind of support is often not stable, like you do not get a guarantee that you will get it all the time, because probably you will have it for a few months, then there will be some problem, you will have a gap. So of course it's possible, but like it's a bit risky. So you can take it only if you're sure that you have some backup, like somebody can support you in case if you will stay without money. There is actually also another option. There is another option of industrial PhD. Industrial PhD is when you already have a work, so you work in a company, so you get money from a company, and in parallel you do your PhD. So university doesn't pay for you. These programs are usually longer, they're usually 4 years. Like for 4 years you keep on working, you can even work abroad. So you have just to come a few times a year to university, just to make the courses, to present the milestones, yes. But when you stay in your own work, of course it's complicated, like because you have to. Yeah, but that's also a good option if you do not want also to break with your job. Also because this way you also gain experience, like that is also important.
Maybe these positions are mainly in very, very technical and high demand positions like mechanical, I don't know, electrical engineering, computer.
Probably. I know 2 guys who are doing industrial PhD. One is working on optimization of the shadings, like optimization of the envelopes of the buildings. So it's quite architectural, though he's an engineer. And he actually works in Germany, like he's moving back and forth. And another one, I'm not sure where he works, I think in Italy, but he's somehow involved in management of construction.
Really? So good to know that these positions are still architecture.
But I think if you apply to that, your company should also support you. Like you have to get some documents from the company that they know, because you cannot do it secretly. So the company should know and should help you with that.
Oh, great. I didn't know this. So this is the general update. What are the most important and definitive factors in the application for PhD? We can say the most important, maybe documents. I
would say one of the most important is proposal. Like proposal, what you plan to do is really important, because even if you will be super brilliant, if you do proposal which nobody needs, there is a very low chance that they will accept you. Or proposal that is not interesting for university, maybe it's wrong place to study this specific topic. It's also it's big minus if it's like that. Usually, when you apply, you can find a document which is called sort of a call for the position, and there they explain in details. Like they say, okay, for example, for CV you will get 15 points maximum. For motivation you will get this amount of points maximum. For the proposal you will get this amount of points. So it's always a sum. Like you can see from that things what is the most important.
Before application, we can see that how are important, which amount documents will be important.
Yeah.
Great, I get it. Then sometimes we might have a gap between when we finish our master program till when we want to start our PhD program. Does this educational gap matter?
I do not think it really matters. Like there are people who make a really big break and then they start doing the PhD. I remember when I was starting, there were even a few people around 40 years old, so obviously they had a very big gap between masters and PhD, though they managed to enter the university. I know that what matters is your age, but it's like it's not the main factor. But for example, it was even written in the document, the one with the description of the procedure. It was written that in case if there is a competition between 2 people, so like there is one place for 2 people, if they have the same number of points, so of course the points is primary criteria to selection. But if they're the same, the younger will win. So from this point of view, age matters, but it's only in these kind of critical situations.
Okay, but in general, they don't limit the candidates to have, for example, especially the maximum, to define one maximum age, for example, applicants should be under, for example, 35.
Honestly, I don't know. I did not hear and did not see it during my application. Probably it exists something. Maybe also it's something psychological, so maybe if they see that somebody is applying at 50 years old, they will simply say, sorry, but let's keep it strict to younger guys. Though it depends, maybe they can also accept any age. So
nice. And something. So the final question: how much? Usually, we want to know how much we will get if we enter to these PhD positions or PhD fellowships or this kind of stuff. Do you know how much are the salaries or funds or monthly income from scholarships or funds or something else in PhD positions in general, if you know in Italy or in Europe, or if you know about other countries as well?
I can tell you for sure about Polytechnical, because even now the Italian universities, they have different numbers, let's say. In Italy, in Polytechnical, they aim to reach the minimum wage, the official minimum wage, which is something like 1,100 euro per month. I think it's a little bit lower, the scholarship that they pay now, though they always try to increase it, so each year it's becoming a little bit more. Though it's more than 1,000, so like you can survive, you can live quite normally for this money. Then for other universities, I'm not sure, but I think if you check other countries, it should be always more or less around minimum wage.
Minimum standard of that country.
Yes, exactly, because that's usually the aim to arrive to that number. So of course, if you go to some countries which are more expensive, they will get more money. Maybe, I don't know, some poorer countries will have much less. Yes. Though they always try to reach an amount that you can live without extra support. Which is quite important because actually that's what you need.
So great. So in general, we can anticipate that if you want to apply for one country and you want to get a scholarship or fund from one university or some organizations, we can anticipate that the amount of money at least will be minimum wage, minimum income of that country.
Yeah, or almost. About the funds, I would say there is more differentiation because it depends always on the department and university and the topic. It's usually normally about 20,000 per year. 20,000 euro per year minus taxes. But the taxes for the researchers, they're reduced. Like for the research grants, I think, if I'm not mistaken, for 5 or 6 years of the research, you can have a super reduced taxes. So like I pay something like 12% of taxes.
12%?
Yes, which is very small. But after the 6 years, you have to pay already a normal tax. But at the same time, you can have other incomes. So if you declare that you don't work for other companies, like you don't have official income, because in that case, maybe you still can get a grant, but you cannot get this very low percentage of the taxes. So normally the research grants will give you a little bit more money, not much more, maybe 100-200 more, but it's quite a big percentage of increase, let's say. So that is quite important.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Marley, for your clear explanation about these questions. If you have any, if you have something in mind to tell us about PhD positions or something that we have to know before admission, after admission, or in general?
I don't know, maybe I can tell you in general also that in general the PhD is 3-4 years by the other countries, and usually it's supposed that you're working full-time on that. So you shouldn't be afraid that you should write your dissertation super fast, like in a few weeks, because normally they also allow you to do that. Because you have milestones which depend on universities once or twice a year. Here is twice a year, And each milestone, they give you already very precise instructions, like what you have to do. So basically, for example, now I'm finishing my second year. So I'm doing my fourth milestone, fourth of 6. So, it's, I don't know, it comes quite naturally because step by step, you know what to write. So you write the different parts of the research gradually, not at once. Of course, the last half a year, you will have to force, like, of course, the last moment, you have to be very active in writing. But the rest of the time, it's not relaxed because you always have some extra activities. Like, I cannot say that you can really relax and you don't do nothing. But it's not heavy. Not so heavy for yourself. And also maybe consider that usually it's like for masters, like you apply for 2 years, but then you know that you take extra year for thesis.
Yes.
Here it's more of the same. Like usually, normally in these 3 years you have to write already your thesis, and on the last milestone you get improvement. Like you say if you're ready to graduate or not, you get your PhD. Because if not, they can send you say, okay, you can continue doing it, you are not ready. And then each half a year again, you can try again to apply. And then also, even if they approve you after 3 years, you have to wait something like 5-6 months till the real presentation. I'm not sure, I think those months you can already be more relaxed that the dissertation is ready. It's only bureaucratic time to read everything carefully to be sure that you didn't steal it from somewhere, like all these kind of moments. Though you should just be ready that it's not like 3 years and you will get your PhD. Though theoretical, I remember that on the welcome meeting they were telling us that if you really need to get your PhD in 3 years, there is a way, like it's possible theoretically, but then you really have to be super good, like in more or less half a year before the end, you have to already present your final dissertation, which will be approved and that everybody will say, yes, wow, go.
That's great.
Yes, but I don't know, honestly, I don't know anybody who did it. Maybe nobody of my friends had urgency, but...
And one thing that I remember, what is the final outcome of PhD? Should you necessarily write a paper, for example, ISI paper or something?
Yeah.
Should you have publications?
Yeah, it's obligatory. Yeah, you have to have publications. Normally, they expect from you at least 1 publications. Normally, but it's one of the requirements. So you need to have something.
And then you are eligible to
defend your presentation or dissertation.
Okay, great.
But normally, it's not like you have to publish immediately because normally the first year you just get inside the topic, you study it very well, and then you start giving your impact from the 2nd, 3rd years. So like it's normal to publish at the end of your studies. So it's never a rush with that.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Maya.
Welcome.
I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.